My name is Emily. I'm 24 years old, and I live in a city that's just big enough to feel busy, but just small enough that you run into people you know at the grocery store when you're having a bad hair day. I'm a photographer by profession, though if you ask my family, some of them would still say it's a cute hobby. They don't mean it in a cruel way, at least not always, but I can tell that a part of them thinks what I do isn't real work. And that's important to know for this story because it explains why I'm in the position I'm in now, torn between my love for my sister, my boundaries as a professional, and the fear that no matter what I do, I'll end up the bad guy. My sister's name is Anna. She's 23, just 1 year younger than me, and we've always been close in that messy, sisterly way. Growing up, we shared a room for most of our childhood. She used to steal my clothes and swear she didn't, even when I caught her red-handed. I used to boss her around and act like I was her second mom. We'd fight, sometimes brutally, but we'd also stay up late whispering secrets, laughing about dumb things, and dreaming about our futures. I was always the cautious one, the planner, the kid who needed to know what time we were leaving the house and how long we'd be gone. Anna was the opposite. Spontaneous, fiery, led by her emotions. If she wanted something, she'd go for it without thinking twice. That difference defined a lot of our relationship. Anna met Megan when they were in high school. They started dating young, and I remember being surprised at how serious they were so quickly. At first, I didn't know if it would last. I figured it was just one of those teenage flings that would fade once they graduated. But they stuck together. Year after year, they stayed committed. And while I admired that, I also noticed early on that Megan and I didn't exactly click. She's sharp-tongued, quick to judge, and has a way of making me feel small without even trying. Or maybe she is trying. I could never tell. Our relationship has always been tense. Civil, for the sake of my sister, but tense. Now, here's where my career comes in. Photography has always been my passion. I got my first camera when I was 16, a cheap, secondhand DSLR that I begged my parents for as a birthday present. I spent hours teaching myself how to use it, messing up exposure settings, cutting off people's heads in the frame, over-editing colors until everything looked radioactive. But I loved it. I loved capturing moments, freezing time, making something ordinary look beautiful through a lens. When I started out, I begged everyone I knew to let me practice on them. Friends, cousins, neighbors, anyone. And of course, Anna and Megan were some of my first subjects. They were young and in love and always wanted cute pictures for Instagram. I took their prom photos, their graduation photos, random couple shoots when they hit anniversaries. I never charged them, not once. I didn't charge anyone at first because I needed the experience. In a way, Anna and Megan helped me build my portfolio, and I was grateful. But fast forward a few years, and photography isn't just a hobby anymore. It's my career. I invested thousands of dollars into professional equipment. I took classes, I built a website, I branded myself. I worked for free until I couldn't afford to anymore, and then I slowly started charging. At first, it was $50, then $100, and eventually I raised my rates to what they are now, $250 for a standard session, $1,000 or more for weddings. That money isn't extra. It's not play money. It's how I pay rent. It's how I put food on the table. So when Anna called me yesterday afternoon, her voice buzzing with excitement, and told me she and Megan were planning a small Vegas wedding, I was caught off guard. I thought she meant it in the distant future, like someday we'll do this. But no, she meant next month, October, a few weeks away. She said nothing was finalized yet, they were just talking about it, but the way she said it, I already knew where this was going. Of course they'd want me to take photos. Of course they'd expect it. I tried to match her excitement. I said, "Wow, that's amazing. Tell me more." She told me they wanted it small, simple, intimate, just them, a few friends, and some family. She didn't say the words, "Will you photograph it?" But she didn't need to. The implication was loud and clear. That night, I went to bed with my mind racing. On one hand, this is my sister. I love her. I'd do anything for her. On the other, I couldn't stop calculating costs in my head. A flight to Vegas is about $250. Add hotel, transportation, food. Add missing a couple of my college classes. Add the actual time and labor of photographing a wedding, a service I normally charge thousands for. Suddenly, this favor was looking like a major financial hit for me. But I didn't say anything. I figured I'd wait and see what their plans actually were. The next morning, my phone rang again. It was Anna. This time, the tone was different. She said, "We picked the date," sounding firm. "It has to be this one. Nothing else will work." I was surprised. Less than 12 hours earlier, nothing was concrete. Now suddenly, everything was set in stone. I hesitated and said, "Is there any flexibility at all? The reason I ask is because I'll already be in Vegas a month later. If we could line it up, it would make things easier for me." Before Anna could respond, Megan jumped in from the background. Her voice was sharp, almost mocking. "Wow, really? You've known for 8 years this was our special date. How could you even ask that? You're being such a bee." I froze. First of all, no, I didn't know. They never told me this date was special. If they had, of course I wouldn't have asked. Second of all, the insult stung. I wasn't being difficult. I was asking a simple question. But suddenly, I was the villain. That exchange changed everything. It made me realize that this wasn't going to be simple. This wasn't just hop on a plane, take some photos, celebrate, go home. This was me being expected to work for free, pay for everything myself, rearrange my life, and smile through it while being insulted in the process. All day, I wrestled with it. I want to be there for Anna. I really do. I know she loves Megan. I know this wedding matters to her. But I couldn't ignore the knot in my stomach. It felt so unfair. If they were any other clients, I'd be charging thousands. For Anna, I was already willing to do it for free. But to also cover my own expenses? That just felt like too much. The thing is, I haven't even brought it up yet. I haven't asked them to cover my flight. That's it, just the flight. $250. The exact same amount I charge for a single photo session, which is nothing compared to wedding photography. It feels like the bare minimum. But after the way Megan reacted just to me asking about flexibility, I'm scared. I'm scared that if I ask, it'll explode. I'll be called selfish again. It'll drive a wedge between me and Anna. I keep replaying possible conversations in my head. In one version, I sit Anna down and say, "Look, I love you, and I want to do this for you, but I can't afford to cover all the costs myself. Would you be willing to at least cover my flight?" In that version, she understands. She says yes. She thanks me for being honest. Everything works out. But in the other version, the version I'm more afraid of, she looks hurt. She says, "Wow, really? You can't even do this one thing for me?" Megan chimes in again, calling me names, making me feel small. Suddenly, I'm the selfish sister who only cares about money. That version keeps me up at night. And then I think about the alternative. I don't say anything. I book the flight. I pay for everything myself. I miss my classes. I show up, smile, take the photos, edit them, deliver them. On the outside, everything looks perfect. But on the inside, I'm resentful. I'm exhausted. I feel taken advantage of. That version doesn't feel good either. The more I think about it, the more I realize this isn't just about money. It's about boundaries. It's about respect. It's about the fact that Megan insulted me and Anna didn't defend me. It's about the fact that my work, my time, my skills, things I've spent years honing, are being treated like they're worth nothing just because I'm family. And here's the kicker. This isn't even their real wedding. They've already said they want to have a bigger, more traditional wedding in a few years. This Vegas thing is just for the legal benefits, like health insurance. So I'm being asked to spend money I don't have, miss classes I need, and work for free, all for a wedding that won't even be the one they look back on for decades. I feel trapped. If I say nothing, I feel used. If I say something, I risk being painted as selfish. Either way, I lose. I keep asking myself, does being family mean sacrificing without question? Does being family mean letting people treat you like your work has no value? Does being family mean taking insults without standing up for yourself? I don't know yet what I'll do. I love my sister, and I don't want this to come between us. But I also know that if I don't set boundaries now, this won't be the last time I'm put in this position. And maybe that's the hardest part, realizing that the line between love and respect isn't always clear, and sometimes you have to choose one at the risk of losing the other. This is my story, and it's still unfolding.